Hey everyone, Aaron here, and this is another surprise attack review. And today's surprise attack review is of Patema Inverted. Now, real fast, guys, real fast. If Patema Inverted at any time sounds like another movie, which is a movie that came out of the western and eastern kind of coast, like Europe and such like that. If it sounds like that movie, which is called Upside Down, I just want you guys to know it is not the same movie. They have a similar concept, and myself when I saw this movie, I almost thought the same thing at first, because they are very similar in terms of what their ideal is, but the execution and the main story premise is very, very vastly different in both of them. I just wanted to say though, I just want to warn you guys that there is a movie that's almost like, at least in the main concept, and I'll tell you guys what part that is, and I think it's pretty obvious. They are similar, but everything else beside the movies are different. There's no there's no copying going on, plagiarism, etc., etc. They're different movies. All right, let's get on to the review though. So Patema Inverted is about two things. One is about our main character Patema, who comes from a kind of odd town. It looks like everything's kind of very dark. It looks like almost like a mining facility, and she keeps hearing about an outside world, a world that exists, outside her boundaries that she's ever seen. But apparently things there are very different than hers. And lo and behold, one day when she's exploring, she's attacked by some random guy that looks like, and lo and behold ends up in the other realm, which is where she meets our other main character, Eiji, who comes from the right side up world. So yeah, what Patema actually comes from is an inverted world. Her place is, for her, she's on the floor, but for him, she's on the ceiling. And when they actually meet each other, she's actually flying toward the sky, and he has to grab her, otherwise she's gonna keep falling and flying into the sky. For her, it'd be falling, and I'll tell you, it's a very interesting concept. Upside Down did something very similar with the whole, reverse gravities in terms of the main characters being on one side and the other one being inverted. But that's where the similarities end. So as the story grows, you learn a little bit more about each one of their worlds through their kind of eyes and their ears. Eiji's world is a very kind of, I don't want to say dystopian type place, but more so solely focused on making everyone similar. They tell people not to look up at the sky. They rank people by points. They are very, very well aware that they do not want people to look anywhere but straight forward. They claim it's for the greater good, and they claim it's to keep, individualism from it being a reality. They want people to work for everyone else. While that, in many ways, not to get philosophical here, while that in many ways is a good thing, is sometimes, you should look out for your fellow man and, woman. But at the same time, you have to remember that you yourself are individual. You yourself are unique and beautiful. Regardless of your quirks and your personality traits that might be liked by some and hated by others, you are unique and different for a reason, okay? And I'm not gonna, not sound like anyone's father, mother here when I say this, but one thing I think I can convey in this is that I think in Eiji's world, you almost see something that is something realistic in our world, where there's a lot of people, for example, there's in Eiji's world, they're on conveyor belts going to their schools, and they're just all looking straight ahead. They're not looking at the sky. They're not looking any other direction except straight. And that's not a good way to being. A lot of people do that even in our world. In the actual real world, they do that, where, they just look ahead, but you got to make sure that you look around once in a while. There's beauty to everything. And sometimes you might find your dreams elsewhere, not just straight ahead of you. You might find them, looking up in the sky and going, I want to do that. Or you might look around you, see someone else doing something that you might find enjoyable. I say that to my younger audience. I'm not saying that per se to my older audience, because I know you guys already at that point know what you want to do, but I'm saying for the people that watch that are younger, I think there's something to be taken out of Patema Inverted, is that always make sure you strive for your dreams, strive for what makes you unique, and use that to your advantage, and use that to push you forward to what you want to do. Anyways though, that's it for this PSA, I don't want to kind of make this really stupid, but it's something that I think is very, very well conveyed in this movie, is that, you see Eiji dealing with that. And it's similar, Patema's world, because they know, and they're not telling her, but they knew the existence of the other realm, the world of the inverted, for them at least. They wanted to keep her closed because they were afraid that her knowing would make her venture out. But lo and behold, it did make her venture out anyways. And, Eiji is the first one to meet her and kind of again save her by holding her down from falling. And it's really nice because as the story progresses, these two become very close to one another. They learn some things about both of their worlds, that maybe their worlds, despite being inverted, are not that different. Even though one might be on the ceiling and one might be going toward the sky, when he at one point in the story visits her world for whatever reason, I'm not gonna say why, he learns, wow, maybe I'm the one that's different. It's the kind of realm difference between what is your reality versus someone else's. That's how they thought their whole life, that they're normal while he thinks he's normal. I love that concept in this movie. I think it's very, very well represented. I also think this is a great movie for all audiences. I think no matter what age you are, you'll get some enjoyment out of this. If you're an older person, you really will like this. If you're a younger person, you're gonna love this because it's really adventurous and it's got some nice, very subtle romance elements to it. It's not anything that's gonna be super nasty. There's nothing, no fan service in this movie. It's just very, very nice and pleasant. But and my biggest complaint though is I think a lot of the stuff in the story is not fully kind of explained. We learn eventually why this inversion even exists, why people are apparently on the ceiling, and why it seems like they're so hated in their realm. We learn the reasons for that, but we don't learn why certain people came to power. Like the main antagonist of this film that shows his face pretty early on, you don't really understand why he's the one in charge. You don't understand where he got the position from. Was that a decision by the majority? Was that something he was born into? You don't understand that fully. And also, you don't understand if this is the only world that exists. And what I mean by that is this the only country that exists in this movie? Eiji and Patema are from two areas differently. But in terms of the bigger scope of the world, you don't see very much of what is still left. You don't know if the kind of devastation that happened that caused the inversion effect. If you don't know if that destroyed most of the world and that's why they're only there in that one spot. But I think I wish that would have explored more so that concept. I wish they would have went a little bit further in that lore. But I'll tell you right now, I love this movie. This is one of those movies that, even though it's an hour and 39 minutes, goes by so fast because you're just going to be watching and going, wow. I didn't even know an hour passed already. And when I was watching, I kid you not, I looked at the time thing because I had to go do something. And I was like, wow, wait a second, I only have 20 minutes left of this movie? What? It just passes by so fast with so much... you just paying attention to what's happening on the screen. And I think that is very rare for anime movies in general. I really dig this movie. I thought this was an amazing, amazing movie. Now, again, I think the animation is very interesting. I think it's nice at times. I also think it's maybe a little bit kind of weak at times. I think that some of the characters could have been designed a little different, but it's not a big deal. I'll tell you right now, one of the best parts of this movie is probably looking at the visuals of the backgrounds. I think the backgrounds of both worlds, inverted and regular, look amazing. I think they're really, really nice and very, very detailed. I just think the characters sometimes could have been more detailed. Soundtrack-wise, I have one issue with it. I actually don't, and this is the first time I'm going to say this, I don't like the Japanese voice acting. I saw the commentary by them, so they seem like nice people, but I just think that this was a movie that was better suited for English audiences in terms of if you want the English audience to understand more of what's going on, you probably definitely should watch this in English. There's not a lot of famous voice actors. There's one famous voice actor in this that most people know, but the rest are kind of, not no names, but more so just, not have done a lot of stuff. Their work is very low amounts. But I don't like the Japanese voice acting. I think a lot of the voices are very, very high pitched. And I know they're younger. These characters are supposed to be younger. But at the same time, I just think that maybe they went a little too young with the voices in terms of how they did them. That's a personal thing. I mean, I know a lot of people that will still say, I'm going to watch the Japanese regardless. No big issue. It's not going to deter from the movie. Anyways, though, guys, that's it for this review. I'm going to say right now, A through F. I just realized I almost forgot that. A through F, I will have to give it an A-. I think it's an awesome movie. I think that I haven't watched anything this good since, days of Howl's Moving Castle or Spirited Away or Princess Mononoke. It kind of reminds me almost of those movies in a lot of ways, despite the lack of certain things, lack of Studio Ghibli's concepts, because I know Studio Ghibli is known for all those works I just mentioned. This is almost on par with those movies. If you really love Studio Ghibli, you're gonna love this movie, I think. that's it for this review, guys, though. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Definitely check this out. And as always, guys, until our paths cross again next review, have a good one. Please like, comment, subscribe. Really helps me out. Anyways, guys, have a good one again. Bye-bye.